Happy
Pride,
everyone!
Yes, we have arrived.
Welcome back to Spicy Taco Podcast. I am your friend Ernesto Chorizo.
And I am Asada Carlos.
And I am Chorizo Daniel.
Yes.
And we are the Spicy Brothers. No, I'm obviously Daniel Asada.
And I'm Carlos Quintero.
And I'm Ernesto de la Morega Tega.
Thank you for joining us.
Holy shit.
On our podcast. Basically what we're trying to say is whatever it is that you are, that's what you are, and don't let anybody else tell you different. Okay?
Except if you're stealing someone else's name or identity, then fuck you. But
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm
We
Carlos
don't
Chorizo.
condone identity fraud.
I'm
Ernesto
Carlos Chorizo.
Pastor.
Daniel Asada.
He always forgets his name. Just bear with him.
He's still figuring out his identity.
So as you may have guessed, today is an LGBTQ
In honor
video.
of Pride Month, June.
Yes, loves.
So welcome to our podcast.
Alright, so today we're just going to talk about general topics going on in the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
Just for the things recently going through the headline is Straight Pride Month.
Straight
Pride
Parade in Boston.
That's fucking trash.
How do you guys feel about that?
That sounds...
You know what it reminds me of? All Lives Matter.
No.
It does.
Well, I was going to say
It really is.
white lives matter, but yeah, all lives matter.
Basically.
That's what it reminds me of. It's the equivalent.
I really hope that, you know, if they do the parade, that like because you know the city the city is gonna help them organize it, that they have LGBTQ community leaders sign on without the straight parade people knowing about it, and then like in the middle of it they're just like a big flamboyant ass float. And it's like
It's like a Trojan horse where it's just going through the
with
parade.
this nipples just hard as fuck. No.
Confetti, Skittles everywhere.
Oh my god.
Assless chaps.
That would-
Oh my god.
That would not end well. That would end like a fucking war. That'd be the fucking
It's terrible.
war of the century.
I don't know.
But as straight people, how do you guys feel that there should be a straight pride? Or whatever, you know.
I feel like we deserve it. We've never had a straight pride.
Hola Taquitos, just wanted to do a quick little disclaimer here. Ernesto el Pastor is going to be playing devil's advocate during some parts of the video, so please do not take anything that he says too hard. We wanted to get the perspective of someone who would be on the other side, and this was the only way that we could do it. So we hope you guys enjoy the video and keep watching.
Y'all have only been gay for what, the last 10 years?
You guys practice straight pride every day of the year, every night, freely. Cochinos, puercos.
Okay. I feel like if straight people want to have a parade, let them have a parade. But point at them and laugh because it's fucking pathetic. All you're doing is saying like, I want to be special. I want my own day. I want my own thing.
Okay,
You know what?
so then it ain't really a straight
See,
parade.
this is exactly what's going on right here, man.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, what's wrong with the straight parade? Like, why does it bother you? It's kind of like the gay parade bothering straight people.
No, it's
I understand people feel left out and feel like they should be proud of who they are, which they should be. But in the gay parade or, you know, LGBTQ parades, during those parades, it's all inclusive. You be whoever you want to be, including straight.
Well, see-
It's more opposing to us gay people and lesbians and everything, but it's a parade to be free and be yourself.
Okay, so
People
what's
just don't
wrong?
understand.
What's wrong with having another parade?
well, the thing is,
Are they gonna be okay? If,
the thing
if
is,
gay people,
gay
just join
people
that?
have parades where they can be openly gay in the streets because when they're not together, when they're not banded together in these clusters of just people walking down the streets and stuff, they're attacked, they're violated, they're oppressed.
They're insulted.
People shun them in society. So they kind of need this empowerment, these kind of things, so they can come together and know that we have a group of people, we have a community. Look at how strong we are. Look at how we fill up these streets. Straight people don't need that. They don't need to remind themselves to embrace who they are because they know like that they're going to be okay when they're walking down the street. No one's going to fucking punch you in the face because you're straight, but you'll get fucking socked for being gay. So that's why it's important to have a parade for gay people because they come together. Straight people don't need to come together. You're okay. You know, that's how I feel about it. That's why I think it's just
For me personally, Me and my boyfriend, I don't like to show any type of affection out in public. I don't hold his hand. I don't kiss him. Briefly, yeah, if behind, like, say, a clothes at the store, behind the shelf, sure.
Oh my God.
For 2 seconds. And then we're like, okay, we can't do that because there's a white man over there, or there's a religious lady that just came out of church over there. Like, it's scary. You don't know. Even if, like, they don't say, hit you or whatever, the insult itself is just...
Yeah.
I just want to avoid that altogether.
Yeah,
like,
it's egregious.
That's why I'm just like...
It's intimidating.
But during gay pride... There I am with a bunch of other people. If they try us, we are going to mob y'all. Like,
exactly. I'm going to get hit with damn flag.
Okay. So, as a Latino, how is that different than just being a white gay or black gay individual?
Not including, because I know in the black community it's also very hard.
Definitely. But we're not speaking
in any community
black experience.
But specifically toward me being Latino or Latinx is how weird. It's the new term to involve everybody, inclusive. It's hard because, you know, Mexico or Mexicans or Hispanics are very religious, and specifically to the Catholic religion, to where it's just completely not okay, supposedly. Anyways. But, you know,
I mean,
yeah.
Why did you choose to be gay?
Why did I choose to be gay? That's my favorite fucking question.
Oh my God. Because God made you straight.
Why didn't you just try some pussy?
Have you tried it?
This question. So,
have you tried punani?
When people ask this question, why did you date? That's a choice. It's your choice. Why would someone choose to go through that hardship of having to get accepted, to having to come out to your parents, to your friends, and risk being rejected, being ostracized, if that's the word, all this stuff? Why? Why is that a choice?
Why would you make that choice? Why'd you choose that?
You're born this way. Just like Lady Gaga said.
Was that your queen?
Queen.
That is, wait, that's the queen still?
I mean, everybody has
thought it was
queen.
Beyonce. Hey, gang,
gang. Okay. So basically, what you're saying is, it wasn't your choice to be gay.
No. I'm saying it's not.
I don't believe that.
I woke up one day and I was just like, let's be gay. Let's go do nasty things.
Oh my God.
You woke up on the wrong or the right side of the bed, and you were like, you know what?
No, he woke up on the left side of the bed. So how do you feel? How do y'all feel about religious freedoms and their whole perspective on gay rights?
I was very religious as a kid. I remember I would like stress over not praying before going to sleep. You know, going to church and everything. I was taught God loved everybody. So if God loves everybody, then He loves me. I mean, eventually I went to that, because at first I was like, oh, God hates me, going to hell, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if people believe religion and God or whatever, God loves everybody. So that's my opinion.
Well,
you want to take your Bible out and be like, well, I mean, I'm right here in this section.
I have some quotes, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Ooh, oh my God! Please. Oh my God! Well, I work with this guy who's like a flat earther, among other things. Oof. And we had this conversation, and I asked him,
most credible source.
I asked him, I was like, "What is?" Because he says, you know, gay people going to hell and stuff, and I was like, "What does that have to do with their character? Well, how does their sexuality, or what does that speak of their character? How exactly?" You know, like he was like, "Well, it does." And I was like, "So you're telling me that someone can be gay and lead a righteous life, just loving, caring, and just being the best person he could possibly or she could possibly be, and still go to hell?" And I was like, "Why is that such a big sin?" And he said, "That's not a sin." He said, "It's an abomination. It's something bigger. A sin you can repent, but with an abomination, you're just damned, period." And I was like, And so my whole thing is...
That's what I was going to say.
Chill. My whole thing is, I don't think that's ever going to change. I don't think, unless they want to see it for themselves, religious people or people who think that way, unless they want to see it for themselves, they're not going to see it, and they're not going to care to see it, because they are set in their belief especially when you're born being just extremely religious and just really sticking word for word to the Bible and what it preaches. It's just, you're not going to change their mind. And it's the other way around too. It's like, they're not going to change your mind. You're not going to change their mind. You don't understand why they don't understand you, and vice versa. So it's like, they'll just never be, what is it called? Like a silver lining, or they'll never be a real, like,
you just don't think
way to get through to the other side.
Like, you don't think it'll be the same. It'll never, where people are okay with everybody. Fluidity.
It's hard to have. There's people that aren't willing to have a compromise. They're not willing to meet in the middle. My whole thing is like, the LGBTQ community is like a protected group in the United States now. I mean, like, there's you can actually say something, and something will be done to protect LGBTQ sometimes. Well, what I mean is like back in the 90s or whatever, even in the early 2000s, you wouldn't even have the conversation. Like now, if it's akin to like judging someone because they're black, or because they're illegal immigrants, or because they're Asian or whatever. Now, because you're gay and you're not employed or whatever, like, it's a protected group, just like the black community. And then, there's just a way of saying that now people care about.
Like, you're saying that it's in the spotlight.
Exactly. Like there's people that are gonna have your back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you're ignored. There is a majority that, like, or I wouldn't say the majority, but a majority that still attack you, or LGBTQ members.
Specifically, like, for example, you might say that the LGBTQ community is protected or is in the spotlight, but within that community, like transgender rights, or like you could say the gay community is more in the spotlight than in anything else. Everything else around it is just like
still fighting. And
a lot of people say that this is a kind of a thing. It is true. The transgender community actually created started the Pride movement back in the Stonewall riots. Mm-hmm. They were they were a part of the whole bar. They were at the bars, and they just like were fed up, and they started.
It's interesting.
And actually, this is the 50th year. 50 years ago it happened. And so
wow.
But yeah, well, basically, what I was gonna say was like other countries are still behind. Like Mexico, South American, Central American countries, because once again, very religious, and it's very hard. It's very hard for people to come out and be accepted. Like, you hear stories of like people being disowned, kicked out their houses, stuff like that. And even now, you see like they'll talk about it on the media, like it's still big stories for like Telemundo, Univision, and stuff like that, for like a celebrity or whatever to be gay, and it still is in America as well. But it's just it's a bigger thing, because it's like, wow, like, oh, I can't, because there's more stigma, there's more conservative views,
specifically in the Hispanic community, like just because of the fact of, like, not to get into another topic, but machismo is such a big old thing in the Hispanic community that they just sexualize women so much that, so like, I guess when it comes to like gays, they're just like, oh, then now are they in their level now? Should we, like, I don't know. It's just it destroys the whole the identity of man.
Yeah, it's a very
toxic.
Yeah, where like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you've heard this before, where it's like you tell someone like, oh, did you know that so and so is gay? It's like, oh, I can't hang out with him no more. Why not? Well, he's gonna try to hit on me. It's like, you still ugly, fam. Ain't nobody gonna try to hit on you.
Nah, there's still types in there. Everybody has a type,
But I've seen that a lot. I've heard that a lot, especially in our community.
Okay, it's kind of like saying, like, I'm straight, and then there's a girl named Pretty Becky and Ugly Becky. Just because I'm straight, I'm not gonna like Ugly Becky, like, but I'm gonna like Pretty Becky. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, I'm gay, but I'm not gonna like oh, bro, because you got a dick, I'm going to shit, bro.
Let's do this shit.
It's like not... Just because someone's gay doesn't mean they're a booty bandit. They're not just coming out for
get
the
over
booty,
yourself.
Like,
You're not that fucking good looking. Like, stop.
Yeah, exactly. You're not.
You know who I'm talking about.
So there's a lot of communities such as the straight pride, or is it straight pride parade? Is that what it is?
The straight community.
The straight pride parade they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
There's other communities, like I already mentioned, the religious communities. And they all feel like they can't say or, have their opinions without being attacked by the LGBTQ community. So a lot of people feel like, yes, it's bad for anyone to attack anyone. But it seems like when the conservatives attack some kind of protected leftist group, in this case at the LGBTQ, and
I wouldn't say protected though.
That's just what it's. That's just what
I would say blanketed.
Or or we won't say protected when they attack the LGBTQ community or any other community, but in this case, the LGBTQ, the backlash is to the point where the conservative, whatever, bigot or whatever, either loses their job, loses monetization on YouTube, or is just targeted and attacked, and it's like they can't say anything because anything that they say at that point is just like, no, it doesn't matter if what you're saying makes sense. You're just wrong because you're being ignorant or you're attacking me.
Yeah,
and I get that. Like I completely understand. Like everybody has a freedom of speech and everything, but I'm just saying, like, if it becomes a point to where you're out here trying to stop the equality, or you want to stop someone else from doing something that you already have, the freedom that you already have, you're trying to like keep that freedom to yourself and not share it with someone else. That's when I feel like you should be demonetized. If
I feel like
it makes sense.
Someone,
as long as you're not attacking nobody,
mm-hmm.
you can do whatever. You can say whatever you want. But if you're out here trying to cause someone's freedom.
So wouldn't you say that there's banter, right?
Mm-hmm.
From both sides. And because, as we've seen, Twitter, Facebook, as much as they deny it, there seems to be like a leftist movement, like where they're trying to be more progressive. Whether I agree with it or not, that's going to be off the table right now. But just in general, there's banter going on back and forth. And because one side is either LGBT or the like, they have more support. So especially like right now with Pride Month, like a lot of companies don't want to be associated with anything anti-LGBTQ because they might lose business or whatever. And it's always the bottom line, no matter what. It's not that they care. Unfortunately, this is just the truth. It's not that they care about any one of us or any individual group. They care about their bottom line. So whatever's going to make them money. In October, during Mexican Heritage or Hispanic Heritage Month, they're going to be all about Hispanics. In February, they're all about Black lives and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Right now, they're all about, pride.
You see rainbows everywhere at the mall.
So, but because of that, so going back to it, equal banter, different things being thrown back and forth, like, oh, you're a bigot, oh, well, you're gay, blah, blah, blah. This guy, the conservative, gets shut down because of what they're saying and what they're spewing. Granted, they're being toxic, but so is, in their own way, this side.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's okay? Or do you feel like there should be some kind of
middle ground? There should always be a middle ground, but
basically, so my question is, do you think it's better if any one group gets to say and express themselves any way they want, while the other, because they're saying negative things, should just be like bombarded with negativity, just like lose their job or whatever? Now, one thing I will say, because I'm pretty sure you guys can tell I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, but one thing I will say is, one thing we should always protect is our freedom of speech, especially as a journalist or whatever. Right now, we tend to take things really personal and make it bigger than what it should be. Get people to back us up. It doesn't matter how toxic we're being, as long as we have people backing us up. We're like, yeah, do it. And like I have a problem with it whether it's on the left or on the right.
I feel like it's a consequence of the time.
Yeah.
Because right now the climate that we're in is very sensitive, very touchy. So if you are going to speak out, it's voice your opinion, and you know the consequences or the possibility of the consequences that you would face, then you have to choose what you're going to go with. Either you're going to voice your opinion and be demonetized possibly, or be like, you know what, I'm going to still say what I'm going to say. I don't care about that because this is what I stand for. And it's just choosing what side you want to be on, what you want to get out of what you're saying or what you're doing. And yeah, I mean, it's a very tricky thing.
So basically, yeah, it's Pride Month. We're prideful. I love Danny. I might have said some things, but you know, we have to present both sides. And one thing I did want to touch on is that yes, in our community, Latino community, there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of ignorance when it comes to a topic such as this, where, you know, because of religion, it's hard for especially older, especially older people, or people that are still like, you know, you guys understand, like parts of Mexico, like for the parts that I'm from, they're not cities. They're not even little towns. They're smaller than that, you know.
Ranchitos.
They're like pueblitos, like really small, really rural areas where it's like they're not gonna understand what it means to be gay. You know, like it's not like, oh, I just like men's now, or I just like women now. It's like, no, it's like this is just how you're born, and they are still attacked and persecuted and all these other toxic things are happening to them.
Just to plug a podcast that kind of relates to a lot of what you're saying, is that like people coming from small towns and they're Catholics or religious and gay. There's a podcast called De Pueblo Católico y Gay. It's actually from a guy who's from the town I'm from, Encarnacion Diaz. I don't know him, he don't know me, but I just plug him. So if he ever watches this, hey. But yeah, that's he interviews a lot of people that are gay from small towns in Mexico, here in the United States and in Mexico, and he just asks them like their like story basically.
I mean, that's a good thing to just have a conversation. Like you don't realize like how much having a conversation, and like, you know, Chorizo said earlier, you might encounter someone that's just, you're not going to change their mind. And you also got to look at yourself and see if you're willing to change your mind. Because one thing you got to remember in a conversation, if you're trying to have a conversation, especially if it's like opposing ideas, are you going in there trying to learn something, or are you going in there trying to convince the other person that they're wrong?
All I gotta say is, what the fuck is it? Like, what is your business for? If someone's out here trying to love someone, then let them love. Unless they're out here trying to love you and you ain't gay, then that's when it's your problem. But if it's not your problem, just let them do what they want to do. So just let people love whoever the hell they want to love, and whatever.
But see, they don't think that way.
They don't. They think they're gonna knock on their door and be like, "Hey, would you like to join our church of gayness?" Like, you know, y'all do that shit. But just to touch on that religious part again, it like the whole religious people that are like attacking the gay people and whatever. It really makes me not want to be religious. And I've talked to a lot of gays about it. And a lot of gays are atheists or don't care so much about the church anymore, just because they feel like they've been pushed away. And it's like sad.
Yeah. And I feel like if you are like if you're trying to smother or not smother, okay. If you're trying to quiet the other side too much, then you're not doing anything, because you're not fixing the issue. You need the dialogue, and muting the other side it's not going to do anything.
This is why we have Trump.
Unless you're just going to go out and fucking kill them. Like say, you know, we're going to go to war, then might as well just be like, you know what, this is how we really mute them. We don't have these issues if we go to war, we start a revolution.
And that's all I meant with conversation. Like, yes, definitely, like just let people do their thing. You know, as long as like you're not hurting anyone or whatever. Just let people live their lives. But if you want to have a conversation, know that it's a conversation and be willing. And don't be like, if someone says something, makes a point, don't let your pride get in the way. It's like, okay, yeah, I didn't see it that way. You got it.
And that's another thing too, though. You can be angry. Get angry. Like, especially when it's such a sensitive thing.
It's an emotional thing.
People want to feel like, like you have to be respectful. And it's like, you can get angry, but still keep your ears open and your mind open and understand that you are having a conversation.
Don't let your anger close your ears.
Exactly. So it's like,
don't bar your face.
You don't have to be super accepting and just quiet and patient and be like, okay, I'm going to wait for them. You can if you got that kind of patience. It's okay to get angry. Just don't use that anger in a negative way. Don't be like, I'm going to go punch this person or that person. Just have the conversation, be passionate, and try to understand the other side. And if you can't, you don't have to accept it. You can still be like, fuck them at the end of the day. But it's important to I guess see what the other side has to offer you as far as like what they think.
Personal experience. When I came out to my dad, he wasn't like angry or anything. He didn't like get out of the house. But that's why I was lucky. But he was more like, did you try a girl or whatever? Did you sure? Positive? But it's like one of those things. Like you wouldn't ask that to your straight kid. Like, did you try a guy? You sure? You sure? You sure? You straight? You sure? Did you try the dick? Like, if you don't if you don't expect that from a straight kid, why would you expect someone who knows they're gay?
As he was saying, like that's why you need conversation.
Yep.
Especially with your family, with your close ones that you want to understand you. They're gonna be stubborn. They're gonna be ignorant, but that's where you're here to educate them. We're here to educate them. And
and if you're a person who's trying to come out to your parents or anything, and you do, and they don't immediately accept you, give them time. Because I know my parents took a lot of time. There's still some things that like I don't talk about. I don't kiss my boyfriend in front of them. I bring my boyfriend over, but it'll take time. It's better than what it used to be when I first came out. So it gets better.
It gets better.
And we kept ranting, and there's a lot more we can do, and we might do one later in the future.
For Atlanta Pride in October, maybe. Who knows?
So look forward to that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have pride, and
stay strong.
Hug. And if you have a gay friend, hug
them.
See,
I'm not like after him.
I love them. Like this video, share it with your friends, your family, anyone. Subscribe to our channel.
Yes, do
if
that,
you're
please.
New, please.
Smash
click
that
the
like
bell.
button.
Click the bell down here somewhere. Notifies you when a new video comes up so that you never miss it. And follow us on Twitter,
Instagram,
MySpace,
Facebook.
We don't got MySpace.
We got a MySpace.
We do got a MySpace.
We just forgot to log in and stuff like that.
We did. So
we're gonna have to contact Justin Timberlake.
And just follow us everywhere. Tell your friends. Be mindful of others. Respect one another. Love one another.
Love is love.
And remember to tune in next time because we love y'all as well. Nah, homie.
Raise your pride flag, bitches.
Einstein loves you.